Hey, what's up, comic book YouTube? Inside this box I just got back from CGC are two of my favorite comic books ever, including my favorite comic book cover of all time. If you want to see what's inside the box, stay tuned. We're going to open it up right now. All right, so I'm really pumped to open this bad boy up. I actually got a surprise delivery earlier that was also from CGC, which kind of threw me off. I thought it was this. Turns out it was actually from Coffin Comics. I got my Kickstarter backer for Cataclysmic Majesty in. Did not expect that, and especially not on the same day that this came. But then a little while later, a different delivery person showed up with this. So all good. I'm just glad it's here. So if you follow along with the channel, you know that I am an X-Men fan. I'm working on an X-Men run too right now. So bad timing because all the X-Men books are going up in value, but better late than never, right? So I do know what the grades are already on these books, so it's not going to be a surprise for me here, but will be a surprise for you guys. Okay, I'll give you a hint. They're both from the Dark Phoenix saga. All right, so we got two books in here. So I already know what the grades are. I'm going to cover the grades just for you guys, though. First one here, got the custom X-Men label. That is X-Men 133. This is the first solo story featuring Wolverine. And a good grade for this one, what I was hoping to get back was at least an 8.5. And what I did get back is a 9.0, which is awesome. Getting a nice Bronze Age key like this in a 9.0 feels real nice. And just a lovely John Byrne, Terry Austin cover. I'll do my best to deglare it there for you a little bit. Yeah, just a fantastic book, and I think it's a great one to own. Very excited to have this thing in the collection, graded, and I thought it was one of the ones that was worthy of getting it graded. I think this book is only going to climb in value, and I knew this was a high grade copy, so for the time at least, had to get this one graded. Like a lot of X-Men fans, I love Wolverine. He's a great character. I think he really works well when he's used as a team player, a team character on the dynamic of the X-Men. But, you know, I grew to love over time. I used to not like Wolverine always getting the spotlight. Over time, I did grow to love his solo stories. I think Larry Hama really did a great job with it. And this is the beginning of that solo adventuring Wolverine. So it's really fun to have that. But my favorite X-Men of all time is Cyclops. Yeah, kind of obvious from the shirt, right? And in honor of that, you know, Cyclops obviously goes best with Jean Grey. And a lot of you probably already know what this comic book is at this point. And I'll cover the grade for you guys as well. You can, even though I already know what this one's graded at. And that is X-Men 137. To me, this is my favorite comic book cover of all time. I think it's just something really epic about it. You know, they're obviously kind of in their last ditch effort there. So I absolutely love it. And I think that a really good grade for this comic book would have been 9.0. That's what I was hoping to get on it. And I got a 9.2. So I definitely can't complain about that. Again, with the custom label, a 9.2, gorgeous square bound book. I couldn't be happier with this one. I knew there was no way it was like a 9.4 or a 9.6. That was just out of the range of possibility. And I'd hoped for a 9.2, and I got one. Man. This book is beautiful. That is just a gorgeous book. I don't know. If you don't love that cover, I don't think we're going to get along very well, because to me, that's just fantastic. But if you do have a cover you like more, let me know about it in the comments down below. I'm really excited to have this one now. So two of the most important chapters of the Dark Phoenix saga are now in my possession. Couple of fantastic slabs. I wish I had had both these books at the time of the Chris Claremont signing that I took part in last year. That would have been amazing. I didn't have either of these books. 133 came right after I submitted for the Claremont signing, like literally days after, and I just had to wait on that one. 137, I have another copy of 137 I've had for a long time, but it's a much more mid-grade copy, maybe like a 7.5, somewhere in there. So I guess, you know, for that era, I guess you could call that like a low high grade, depending on how you look at it. But still, I didn't think it was really worth slabbing. This one I felt a lot better about, and sure enough, came back in a fantastic grade. So this was technically part of my last CGC submission. If you watch that last video, a lot of people really like that video. It's really awesome. I did a submission, kind of a CGC submission gone wrong. Now, technically, I submitted these books at the same time. They went on a different submission just because they had custom labels. But if you take into account that these were on that last submission, it does help kind of redeem that submission a little bit. You know, these are a couple excellent books that would have kind of rounded that out. Still doesn't quite undo that purple label I got on X-Men 212. Oh my God, I'm so happy to have this. I mean, just, you know, the joy that this Wolverine cover alone brings me. It's also a really good story inside too, of course. And then just having this, man, that's so great. The only thing about, you know, I love and hate the yellow banner on this comic book. It distracts from everything, but also it is kind of a part of comic book history. I mean, you know, we don't see ads the same way we used to in comic books, but you know, you remember if you read some of those old comic books, there'd be an ad every couple of pages or every few pages or whatever, and on covers, and obviously the backs of covers, you know, you have all that kind of stuff too. So it's really not that different. Boy, they certainly have some scuffs on this slab on the back. It's too bad. I've actually noticed that on some recent submissions. But anyways, the next thing you're going to kind of see from me about X-Men collection is, now that I'm getting some of the books back that were supposed to be part of the run of X-Men, at some point I'm going to show off where my progress is at already. I know some people have that run completed, so that's probably way more exciting to see. But hey, you get to follow along as I work on completing that run, which is hopefully kind of cool in its own way. And as a reminder, the next few comic books that I'm going to be having in my X-Men run that get added, that are graded, are coming via Turlock Comics. And Turlock Comics is a soon-to-be brick-and-mortar comic book shop, but they do cleaning and pressing services. So if you're interested in getting your books cleaned and pressed from a fantastic cleaner and presser, not like the stuff you saw on this kind of first part of this last submission here, definitely check them out. Pretty soon I'll have a preview video coming out for all the books that I had cleaned and pressed already by them. It's going to be pretty cool to see the preliminary stuff, and then you'll see the results as soon as all those books come in. Some of them already have. The results are fantastic. If you want to go ahead and DM Hulknuts over at the Turlock Comics crew, the link is in the description below for the Turlock Comics IG profile. DM them, and if you reference the code Bronze Nuts in that referral, you'll go ahead and get an awesome deal where you can get any comic book from any era, gold and silver, doesn't matter. For $15, you get a clean and press on that book. You do 10 or more books, you get them done at $12 a piece, plus shipping. If you do want to do submissions, just understand that CGC and CBCS submissions, all those wait times are pretty crazy right now. I waited for these books for 7.5 months. So yeah, it takes a while. But if you are interested in doing that, they're a fantastic cleaner and presser. They do great work on the submission side. They're very trustworthy. I definitely recommend them. So what I want to know is, what's your favorite cover of all time? Go ahead and leave a comment down below, or if you want to talk about it more and show it off, head over to our Discord. You can check that out. The link's in the description as well. It's a fantastic place to go talk with some other comic book nerds and geeks, and definitely kind of share your love of comic books with us, and kind of bounce some ideas off us for future videos, all that kind of stuff. We'd love to see you there. And until next time, I just want to remind you, as always, hey, 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 hey. Read comics every day.